Hello, my name is Keith Terwilliger, and this month's Truth Talk will be on the kingdom. One of the cool things we see with the kingdom, and it's pretty solid, Jesus gives us a prayer outline in what we call the Lord's Prayer, and it's in Matthew chapter 6, starting with verse 9. The second verse, which is verse 10, says, "Your kingdom come, your will be done as it is in heaven, so on earth." Now, the interesting thing with the kingdom is we think of it so often in our Western culture through like Lord of the Rings movies, the spear, the sword, the white horse, the crown, the kingdom, the Lord, the glory. But the kingdom, according to an Eastern perspective, is a little bit different. Now, if Jesus did speak Aramaic, which is what most scholars think that he did, the Aramaic word for kingdom is Malkuta, and Malkuta means counsel. So the same way that we would go see a counselor for help, the same way if our life was out of order, we would go to a counselor to help bring us in order. Jesus is the great counselor, and he's bringing order to our lives through this prayer. The same way the counsel was lost when Adam and Eve listened to the serpent and they started making decisions with the knowledge that's between good and evil, is the same way Jesus is trying to show us how to gain his counsel. The Apostle Paul says that the kingdom of God is peace, joy, and righteousness, or a rightness in the Spirit of God. Jesus says in Luke 17:21 that the kingdom of God is within you. The kingdom of God is within us. God's counsel is within us. And we think that sometimes it's going to be a white horse or a rider with a spear or a sword, but really we get that vision from Revelation for the time to come. But right now, Jesus is putting us on a path of listening to the still small voice to get that peace, that joy, that rightness in the Spirit of God, to get that counsel. The same way ancient governments used to have a council together and they used to discuss the matters of the kingdom, and the king would give his counsel to the counselors, and the counselors would take that to the rest of the people. We're to take God's counsel, which I think if you daisy chain all those passages together, we're to take the peace, the joy, the rightness in the Spirit of God, or the righteousness in the Spirit of God. And if that's already within us, it's supposed to be, we just ask God for, how do I do this today? How do I get your counsel today? And how do I take it and permeate it to the rest of the world and take the kingdom of God, which is the peace, the joy, and the righteousness in the Spirit of God, and take that everywhere? I think it's waking up in the morning, middle of the day, at night. I think praying the Lord's Prayer is important. It's a meditation. We're called in Psalm 119 to meditate in the Word and apply this as almost medicine to the soul, to where we can have our soul as whole as it can be, to love God, love people, and take his counsel his way and distribute it through the rest of the earth. I really believe this is what Jesus wanted his kingdom to be and where it to start, because it has to start with us and flood the rest of the world until everything rules rightly according to the kingdom of God. Thank you so much. Have a good day.